Hi everybody, it's Mrs. Haugen. Okay, today we're going to read about bushfires, another section in our disaster alert book. Again, at the top, we start with a very large heading.
Bushfires.
And at the bottom, we have a slightly smaller heading, which is the subheading, a little bit smaller heading. So everything that we read in this section will be about...
Why do bushfires happen? Bushfires start in hot, dry places. They are one of the most dangerous disasters. The most common place in which these fires occur is Australia. Bushfires move quickly and burn everything in their path. The fires can be caused by many things. These include lightning strikes, people, faulty electrical equipment.
So you see I highlighted in green the word faulty. That's a really important word that you're going to need to know. So I have a little sticky note up here at the top that talks about the word faulty. And the word faulty simply means broken. It doesn't work correctly. So faulty, broken, electrical equipment that does not work correctly could cause a bushfire. I wrote another word down here. The word is faultless. So we have a section right here, the LESS. If you remember, we've talked before about the suffix, the end part of the word. And the end part of this word, less, means without. So if we have a word like faultless, that means that thing is without fault. We could also say that it is perfect. So those are opposites. We have faulty or broken, and we have faultless, which is without fault or perfect. So now let's go ahead and look at the very last section here. So again, we have a little bit of some kind of a diagram. Let's listen.
Fire danger rating today. Low, moderate. High, very high. Severe, extreme. Code red. Prepare, act, survive.
So looking at this, because I know this is kind of like colors on a stoplight, we have green is usually good, right? So low to moderate means not a big danger of having a fire. You see that this arrow is pointing to blue, which says there's a high fire danger today. And then as we get farther, we go more red, and then we get to the very worst, code red, which probably means it is already here, it is already happening. Take cover. Let's look at the next page. So here we have another photograph. Actually, we have two photographs, a big one and a little one. You see that the big one looks like all of those trees are on fire, which is what a bushfire is. So let's listen.
Real life. February 7th, 2009. Bushfires burned through Victoria, Australia. Damaged equipment at a power plant started one fire. More than 3,500 firefighters rushed to the scene. More than 2,000 homes were destroyed, and 173 people died. It was named the Black Saturday Bushfire. It was one of the worst bushfires ever.
That is a whole lot of damage. You see what the damage looks like up there in that photograph. On the next page, we have a new subheading. So everything that we read in these paragraphs will be how bushfires are stopped. So ways that we can stop the bushfire once it has begun.
How are bushfires stopped? Strong winds help bushfires travel long distances. Bits of burning leaves and twigs can be carried by the wind. This starts more fires. Extreme temperatures can reach 2,220 degrees Fahrenheit. The smoke contains poisonous gases. Firefighters must work quickly to stop a bushfire. They dig trenches and clear trees that could become fuel. They spray water on the ground and the fire. Military pilots drop firefighting chemicals and water from the air.
I see a word that looks familiar to me. We have the word poisonous again. We talked a different time, I believe it was with volcanoes, about this word. So we have the word poison, that's the base word, which could be harmful. And because it is a poisonous gas, it means it is a gas that contains poison. Very important. So let's look at the picture or activity that they have here. The directions say, choose each of the disaster events below to see what happens. Look, these are all the disasters we've talked about. So let's look at the tornado. Ooh, the sky's getting really dark. I hear the strong winds. There it comes. There's glass breaking. Look what it did to the car. And it popped the door right off the front door. So that is the damage that a tornado does. Let's check out the flood. So much rain. Now remember, the flood happens because the ground can no longer absorb or soak up the water. So that's what we were seeing there. Too much water for the ground to absorb it or to soak it up like a sponge. Okay, here's a sinkhole. Oh, I see a crack. Oh my. And there goes the car. By looking at this picture, could you guess what caused the sinkhole? What made that ground not stable? We saw before how the ground kind of eats away. Look at that again. Look where that crack is forming. There's a bunch of water under there. My guess is the water made that ground a little bit unstable. Oh my. Okay, let's try the volcano. There it is in the background. So what's coming out is the hot lava, the ash, the poisonous gas. Oh my. And one more, the bushfire, which we're learning about today. So there are lots of ways that a bushfire can start, and this one started because of the lightning strike. And then it spreads throughout. Those were really good visuals. Oh, that's a sad deal. That was excellent. Let's go to the next page. So this is actually the last page we're going to be reading today. So let's listen to the Did You Know section.
Did you know? Wood bursts into flames at between 500 degrees Fahrenheit and 600 degrees Fahrenheit. Different types of trees burn at different temperatures.
Interesting. Now we see a different subheading, the smaller heading, which will just tell us about this information here.
Help is at hand. Pets and wild animals need help in a disaster too. People take animals to special shelters. Shelter workers feed and care for them until it is safe.
What an important job. Now, these little cuties at the bottom, I know you saw them, so we're going to listen to the caption. Because we see the photograph, we will listen to the caption.
These joeys in Melbourne, Australia, were lucky enough to be saved from a bushfire.
So my guess is these joeys, or baby kangaroos, were taken to one of these special shelters that we see up here in this paragraph. And my guess is that the workers fed and cared for them, so then they were okay. Boys and girls, that is our bushfire section for today. So now be sure that you go into Class Cake and complete the reading response on the next page. Talk to you soon.